back with the Pickems for week 11. Week 11. It's crunch time. We know it. You're still trying to get right in on the line, maybe take advantage of some bad beats earlier on in the season. There were some bad beats last week, but overall, if you listen to at least one of us, probably me, you did okay last week. So we're going to give it to you again this week, starting off with our Thursday night game. I've been pissing and moaning about them most of the season, but this week's all right. We got Seattle at home to the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals coming off a big win. I believe they're tied for that division. Isn't there not a three-way tie there? At least a two-way tie between Arizona and Seattle. Big game here Thursday night. George, who do you got? Seattle's favored by 3.
Yeah, it's a three-way tie with the Rams right now.
Rams, yeah.
It's so close. It's just so ridiculously close, and the Cardinals have found ways to squeak it out. I'm gonna go with, just because it's the home team, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
I'm taking the Seahawks as well. But man, a team that looked like a world beater to start the season, and they've come back. I mean, they're 1-4 here in the last like maybe 5 weeks. Not really where you want to be from that perspective. So our next one, we're going to start off our Sunday slate. Feels like a pretty easy one here, except then you remember that the Falcons are playing in New Orleans. You're like, oh, it's going to be the Saints. Oh, Drew Brees is hurt. And it might be Jameis Winston time. Is that a big enough difference maker? Vegas still says New Orleans by 5. George, who you got?
I think I got to go with New Orleans on this one. Just because.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's. I've had way too bad of a record on this pick'em just by trying to be outrageous for no reason.
Yeah, you spent a long time trusting the Falcons, so now's
Saints
not the
have
time.
The Saints have a much better record. Both have health issues with their skill position players.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Thomas is just coming back. I'm going Saints.
I'm with you. I'm going Saints as well. On our next matchup, we've got Washington at home in a pick'em against Cincinnati. Now, I'll tell you, I know Washington's looked bad this year, but I'm going to take Washington and Alex Smith time over Cincinnati. I just think – I actually think the Washington defense is pretty good, and I think that the Bengals defense is not good, and I actually trust Alex Smith a little bit to get the job done. What do you think?
I do think it's going to be a little bit of a squeaker. If Joe Mixon comes back, I think it looks better for the Bengals for sure. But I'm going to go with the Bengals just to be the devil's advocate here.
George
I think
over
that
here
they can pull it out.
taking the Bengals. What did you just say about being outrageous? I guess that's not an outrageous pick.
Well, to be fair, I took the Bengals last week to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, that is true, and that didn't work out for you. So we, hey, fortune favors the bold, except in pick'em.
So if I knew Big Ben was off the COVID list, I might have thought differently.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe Mason Rudolph out there throwing balloons gives you a different feel there. All right, so we've got Carolina playing at home against Detroit. Although they haven't officially ruled him out, we are going to assume that our boy CMC is not playing. This is a full pick'em, no odds available. What do you got?
It's tough because, and I'm just getting notifications right now that Matt Stafford is hurt. He has a tear in his the ligament thumb of his throwing hand. Teddy Bridgewater is also hurt. So this is a really, really difficult game to call.
So who's the quarterback? Who is the backup quarterback in Detroit?
Oh, I don't even know.
Right? Like, that's not a good thing for the Detroit Lions.
To be fair, I'm not really quite sure about the Panthers.
It's Chase Daniel.
Yeah.
Chase Daniel, which I don't mind Chase Daniel time in Detroit. So that gives me a little more confidence there. The backup in Carolina is P.J. Walker, who played under Matt Rule at Temple, and then was in the XFL last year. I think his name's P.J. Walker. It's P.J. I think it's P.J. Walker. P.J. So I, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Detroit on this one. Full pick 'em. I'm gonna go with Detroit because I think even if Bridgewater's playing, I just don't. They basically they only can stay in games. It looks like if CMC's healthy.
Yeah, I think ultimately I'm going to go Detroit too.
That's a tough
I
one.
just
A lot of
I just
injuries.
I just like some of the progress they've been making in recent weeks, and it's real close.
We've got Houston playing at home to New England and a battle of the. New England's actually favored by 2. Um, Man, it's hard for me to. New England look like New England's that team that like I counted them out for dead last week, and then they somehow beat Baltimore, who I think is a good football team. Um, it's hard for me. I can't. Houston's so bad. It's got to be New England, right?
Yeah, it's got to be New England. As much as I'd like to bet on the Texans again, I think New England is going to pull this one out.
I've got to be with you. I don't like it. I'm really uncomfortable with this. And in fact, I'll be real with you. In my confidence pool, like that's going to be way down the list. 1-2 points tops. In our next matchup, we've got Philly playing at Cleveland. Vegas tells me Cleveland's going to win by 3. I'm inclined to agree with Vegas. I think Cleveland's kind of overcooked their grits a little bit. I don't think they're as good as their record says, but I just don't like Philadelphia can't really beat anybody that's not in their division.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Browns are getting healthy, or are now healthy, with especially with the couple different facets of the run game. I don't think they particularly miss Odell Beckham too much. I think the Browns are going to win this one.
I'm with you there. All right, our next matchup, we've got Pittsburgh playing away to Jacksonville. The 9-0 Steelers against the 1-8 Jaguars. NFL history tells me that Pittsburgh wins this game. My gut tells me Pittsburgh wins this game, but this year tells me that Jacksonville is. I'm still sticking with Pittsburgh because I don't think Jacksonville has a shot here because they haven't won a game since beating the Colts in Week 1 because Philip Rivers wanted to throw 13 interceptions. But who do you got?
So fresh in my mind is the Steelers getting a run for their money from the Cowboys a
Not
couple
good.
weeks
Yeah.
back. But also fresh in my mind is how they destroyed the Bengals. So I I'm not going to bet against the Steelers. I think they're going to beat the Jaguars.
I'm with you there. All right, we've got Tennessee playing on the road against Baltimore. I'm taking the Ravens with a little bit of revenge on their mind from last week. I know they didn't play Tennessee last week, but you got to assume they're going to be pissed.
Um, I assume they're pissed. Uh, I think ultimately the Ravens don't play that well at home. I'm going to go Titans because I feel like the Titans had a really off game too against the Colts. And I think that they've really got a fire in their belly too.
I hope not. I need Baltimore to lose that or Baltimore to win that game. So little gut check on that one for me too. All right, we've got Miami playing on the road against Denver. Miami's favored by 3.5. I'm going to take Miami in this game. They've been playing well of late. Nothing has told me that they're going to play bad. Their defense is very underrated. Um, I'm good with Miami here. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how uh, I thought for sure that they would be one of the worst teams in the league
For sure.
starting out, and they look great. They're getting it done on special teams. They're getting it done on defense. Dolphins are definitely going to beat the Broncos.
Attaboy. We've got the Chargers playing at home to the Jets, the helpless, hapless, soon to be 0-16 New York Jets. Chargers by a long, long way here, right?
Yeah, Chargers are going to win. They're finally going to get that sort of game that they could really get some confidence by playing. I think the Chargers are going to win. Chargers are going to win by a couple touchdowns.
There you go. All right, we've got Dallas going on the road playing in Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 7.5. Who you got in this one? I'm taking Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to take Minnesota too. I've kind of lost my faith in the Cowboys. But who knows what quarterback they're starting. Vikings have are all healthy, and they all have Justin Jefferson. Looks like he's a really good fit into the system. So I think ultimately the Vikings are have a worse record than what they deserve. 1-3 at home is not going to be for very long, and I could see them going 3-3 real in the near future.
I agree. We've got Indianapolis playing at home to Green Bay. Indianapolis is actually favored in this game, which I did not expect. I thought they would not be favored in this. They are favored by 2.5. I'm going to abstain here. What are you picking? I'm abstaining because everyone knows I'm picking the Colts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going Packers.
Yeah, I knew you would. You jerk. Let me just record that so I can make fun of you for it next week.
Sure.
By the way, you also picked Tennessee last week. Let's go Colts. All right, so we've got Kansas City playing on the road at Vegas. Now, Vegas went into Kansas City and won a game. I mean, in somewhat dominant fashion earlier in the season. I can't say I see that happening again. Kansas City is favored in this one by 6.5. I'm taking Kansas City, but what do you think about this? Going to be a closer game, you'd think.
I'm taking Kansas City. Yeah, I could see this as potentially being a big game for like Travis Kelce, and um, I could see very easily it being a gritty game. Maybe a little bit with the run game from Kansas City. Maybe Allaire starts doing something, but yeah, definitely the Chiefs are going to win. I could see about a touchdown being the amount that they win by, maybe a little bit more.
All right, may be the toughest matchup this week. The Rams on the road at 6-3 playing the 7-3 Bucks. Bucks are favored by 3.5 at home. I think it's a tough one. I think it's a really tough matchup to pick. Who do you got?
So I've been betting against the Rams all year so far, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Attaboy, that's who I'm taking too. Bucks all the way in this one. I think I know I just said that I'm worried about the Bucks receivers, and I still am, but I think they'll have an opportunity to run the ball, and I think there's just a lot of pieces there. And I don't know, the Bucks defense is pretty good. I don't know that that Jared Goff is going to have enough to really challenge there, but we'll see. This could be a good game. Could be a good game. Should be a good game. That about does it for our Pickems this week. Now, George, I did want to bring up one more thing because I think this is a little bit fun. We did it last week. Kind of ended up with a push because we were both a little bit right on it. Now, I thought about a side bet for this one, and this one might be just like a little bit rubbing it in, so I don't anticipate doing that, and I'm sorry if it does. You tell me. More yards, okay, passing, Kirk Cousins, or from scrimmage, Dalvin Cook.
Passing.
So is Kirk Cousins going to have more yards through the air, or is Dalvin Cook going to have more yards from scrimmage?
Okay. So we both bet on this, or you just want me to bet on one or the other?
I know what I think, and if you're going to take the other side, I'm willing to carry on last week's bet to this.
It's Cousins all the way.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought that as well, but I thought, man, I mean, look, let's back it up a step. Dalvin Cook had more yards from scrimmage like 2 weeks ago against the Packers, if I'm not mistaken, than Cousins had in the air.
Yeah, but that's not something you could bet on for the happen consistently.
That is fair. That is fair.
I'll tell you what, I lost the bet.
You didn't lose. It was a push. It was a push. You had the yards. I said he wasn't going to score a touchdown, and I actually only think he didn't score a touchdown because they decided to throw the ball to Deonta Foreman, on that first drive. I think that's the only reason. The Colts did not come prepared to play on the first drive, and I was like, this is a bad omen for the rest of this game. So I got a little bit lucky there that they didn't hand the ball off. Otherwise, you were winning the bet going away. So that's it's a push.
So let's do this. So let's give me a chance of redemption because I technically lost. Let's go double or nothing. Give me the opportunity to say that Kirk Cousins will have more through the air than Dalvin Cook will have from scrimmage. Double or nothing.
No, because I don't want to be on the other side of that bet. I also want Kirk Cousins.
Then you'll be nothing then.
I'll be nothing. Okay.
We'll have a wash.
We'll have a wash. All right. That's fair. I'll give you Cousins on that. That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. All right. Well, thanks M&M Nation for sticking with us and our goofy side bets and what we do. We'll see you next week and week 12 as we're really getting prepped for the playoff push. George and I in our league, we're both right in the thick of things. We could both make the playoffs and both miss it. So it's going to be fun for the next few weeks. See you next week.
Good luck, everybody.